Hello, this is Shanker once again, and I'm making a video every day for the benefit of what I have learned, what I've understood, and my idea is about basics. If you know the basics, you can do it. If you know grammar, you are good at English, and if you do not know grammar, then you cannot be said to be good at English. So that's very important. We should know the grammar. So I'm going to talk about houses today. So I'm going to talk about first house. The first house depicts yourself. The first house depicts your drawing room. From your drawing room, you can come to know a lot of things about future and about yourself. The first house also depicts on what is happening just now, and what do we want, what is our desires, what is our ambitions. Depending, the first house gives an idea of that, and what do you want to do in life. Like Jupiter in the first house has been praised, but I've seen Jupiter in the first house. It may make you, a very poor person, and it will make you a kind of a person who is begging, but will give you a lot of izzat bahut dega. You will be recognized, you will be respected, whether you are an auto rickshaw guy, and even if you are a beggar, within beggars also, you will be respected. You will be put on a seat, and you'll have 10 people around you. So let's not get in the misnomer that Jupiter in the first house is it gives you everything. So this is about first house. First house is also, therefore, first house also tells you about your what are the karmas which you have done, which will fructify in this birth. What is the field you have to run in this life. If you have a larger field to run in this life, you can do much better, and you can rise. You start from 0 to 100, or whether you have a small field. You have a big garden where you can make one round, and that's 5,000 steps, or you can have a very small garden where you can walk 200 steps, and so it gives you the field in which you can operate. The first house also tells about your status. It also tells about your health. It also tells about the medicines which you should be taking, whether it's Ayurveda, homeopathic, allopathic kinds of medicines. Jadi Booty have been defined on what can be done in the first house. That part of it is mostly lost somewhere, but yes, first house is important for medicines. First house is also talks about your house. What kind of house you will own, whether it's a small house, or old house, a big house, a very big house, a great house. First house is very important. It tells you the kind of house you would be occupying and owning, or you will be making, or you will be getting. So that's first house. So looking at first house, look at the forehead of a person. Forehead could be small, forehead could be big, but what is important is the forehead should not be bulging, and forehead should be going up. And there are a lot of ways of looking at the forehead. The first house is basically your forehead, and it gives you a lot of things. It also tells about your ambitions which you have in life, and the ambitions also side by side. What is adhyatma? What do you like in your what in spirituality, religion, your thought process, the philosophy of life you have. There's nothing as religion. It is a philosophy. Religion is all about philosophy. Religion is a way of life. So it actually tells you the way of life which you would personally want to lead. Now you can put it to any religion, and that is how we get our identity. So its religion talks. It first talks about your identity and the way of life you want to live. I've also told you that religion is also first house is also about your ambition and adhyatma of your life. This also tells you about what part of karma will get fructified, and also the results of what you would have done in your the hay period of life. That is, we call it Hindi. You can call it Javani, or you can call it the prime age of your life. So what the karmas you have done at that time, how will they fructify in the later part of your life? So first house also depicts that part of it. Very important for the first house is that the most important planet for first house is Sun. So if you want to look at the first house and what is the power of the first house, look at Sun. If Sun is good, Sun is well placed, Sun is exalted, Sun is in a good house, things will be very good for you. Mars, also the status of Mars, or Mars being in the first house is also very excellent. Whether even if it is debilitated, don't bother. Mars in the first house is par excellence. Similarly, Sun in the first house is par excellence, but also you have to see what is the strength of Sun and Mars at other places, which will also actually, give you the things which I have talked about in the first house. The first house for Rahu is also very good, but you should have Rahu should be controlled. I mean, Rahu is controlled by a strong Mars. It is controlled by will. So if you are Rahu in the first house and a strong Mars, you are king. You'll be able to do large things, big things, plan big things, do them slowly and steadily. Will not be rash, and so you will come up well in life. So that is what Rahu in first house is, and Rahu in first house, those who are Rahu in first house should not indulge in the three W's, especially excess woman, wine, and the wrong kind of wealth. Because the first house depicts wealth which is the right wealth, which you earn in the right way. Sixth house depicts the wealth which you get by corruption or when you steal or do any other things. So it is not the first house which deals with that. The wealth is first house deals with the wealth generated by your efforts. So that is what it deals with. First house is also in a way related to Saturn. So Saturn in first house is not very good. It is bad. In fact, Saturn in first house gives you a lot of difficulties, delays, frustrations, a lot of problems. Even if it is exalted sign, even if it is in Libra in the first house, Saturn exalted, or Saturn in the house of Mercury, or Saturn in the house of Venus, anywhere Saturn in the first house will give you a lot of delay, frustration, success after delay and frustration. So you have to see Saturn also to understand the first house. The planets which you have to see is Sun and Mars. If they are good, first house is good. Saturn is the balancing on the other side. Saturn is the pulling part of the first house. So you have to see the impact of Saturn, and you get an understanding of the first house. Look at the forehead, look at the drawing room of the person, look at the house of the person, look at what he has done in his prime time, in his, when he was young, like, when you're from the age of 12 to 21, 25, 26, or the karmas you've done. That is the free will also is by first house. So first house has to be looked in that context, and it is important. If you've got a strong sun, anything towards north is very good, and if you have a strong Mars, anything towards the south is very good for finance and prestige. With this, I round up this video. It's very important. First house, I don't know, 99% people do not know what first house is all about, and they just learn 2 or 3 things and just talk about first house and see the planet in the first house. It is not that. Understand what the first house means, understand the karaks of the first house, and then you go in for the analysis of the first house. This is it. Shanker now. I'm signing out. For me, you can go to my website, shankerstudy.com, and if you liked my video, become part of the my channel, subscribe to my channel, and that's it. Thanks. Bye for now.